Boss time.
Boss time.
It's a good thing we got these Clubs of Disruption. So do you want to know how to beat this boss?
Should I magic missile?
No. Do you want to? It's actually mean to magic. Do you want to know how to beat this
tell
boss? Okay. Smash X at it. Ignore everything else and smash X at the orb. No, it's immune to magic. Told you this. Actually, I think we do have to kill the undead. Okay. Welcome back to Last Play. I forgot to start the episode.
That's alright.
It's fine. We had a cold open. It's the Orb of the Undead. And, yes.
You're going to throw in my explanation at the end or the start?
You know what? I haven't decided, but the crowd will know. It'll have already happened. Yeah, with boss fights, you don't want to die because you can't go back to the save point.
Yeah. I mean, I usually don't.
Yeah,
but
usually trying not to die describes how most people function in this world. So I feel like you should have what you need to know. Oh, I'm immune to arrows too? This is the worst Christmas ever. Oh boy. Love those crits.
Oh boy.
Ah! Ah!
Ah!
Okay, now my club is much more effective against these guys. Weak resistance to piercing. What is this, 2.5? Okay, back to the orb.
Back to the orb. Smack it.
Oh, there's a mithril dagger there. Nice. So that's a good sample of our more prevalent D&D experience.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. We've already. I thought we were going to talk about a certain town guard.
Oh,
However,
of course.
We have spoken of
mention
Richter in a different episode.
Yeah, I think I forgot that I had actually talked about Richter.
Oh boy. Okay, no, I need the camera.
Oh,
Thank
sorry.
you.
Yeah. So yeah, this was the same campaign that. What was the story I told about this campaign?
The orc.
Oh yeah, the orc. So this was the very first session of that campaign. Basically, it started with them hearing that there was like something was going down at this like Tower of the Giants, and they were basically calling, "No, you got to kill the orb, man."
Yeah, there's just stuff to.
Yeah, but we can grab stuff when there's like nothing. Well, I blame myself for this one.
I got it.
Yeah. I thought my scale mail would protect me a little bit more than that, but I forgot that enemies get crits too. Oh, you cornered yourself. Okay, you're good.
I'm out.
All right, time to tell stories while you deal with this and get all the XP for the boss fight.
You do this. You do that.
So the very first session, they'd heard that there's a disturbance at the Tower of the Giants, and like they're calling for all able hands to kind of help. And so they go there, and they get a briefing from the captain of the guard, or not really the captain of the guard, but one of the like lieutenants, who was basically like, "Yep, they seem to be there's something's wrong with the Giants, and they've started attacking people. They're usually pretty solitary, but we're not really sure what's going on. So they sent a town guard to like investigate and figure out what's going on. And so they climb the tower, and it's nothing that special. But they reach the top, and they get to the situation, and there's like a detachment of guards like currently just locked in combat with 4 or 5 giants. So there's like 10 guards there's like 2 guards for each giant, except in the corner there's 2 giants and there's just this one guard. And this one guard is like 1v1ing with this other giant, and the giant's like, he's going to be crushed, and it just moves away. And how I did it was I was basically rolling. I wasn't like rolling their entire turn, I was just rolling a d20 to see how well did the guard do this turn, how well did the giant do this turn. And for the most part, I scaled it such that the guards would just get wiped. The giants as a whole would just starting to one by one just smack these guards around and defeat them. And so like the party needed to intervene in order to like save them. And so most of these guards were falling, and like except for this one guard who is off in the corner 1v1ing this giant was like consistently rolling extremely well, and the giant he was facing was consistently rolling extremely poorly. And so after like 5 rounds of combat, where like all of the other guards have mostly been killed, this one guard has been 1v1ing this giant the whole time. And so the party was like, "Dude, what's up with that guard?" He's like, "That's just a regular guard. He's just doing really well against this giant." And I started like actually rolling based on their stats, and he continued to like roll crits against this giant, and this giant was continuously missing him because he couldn't roll above a 5. And by the end of the fight, like reinforcements had come to help the party deal with these giants, and by the end of it, the one guard was still alive and still fighting this giant before like the rest of the guards like helped him out and like helped him defeat this giant. And he eventually got this like reputation as like the guard that soloed the giant. So obviously he had to have a name. So I named him Richter, who is now known as Richter the Giant Slayer. And he gained like two character levels from defeating this giant, and very quickly just became this like storied figure of this guard that like ascended to like adventure status and was now like going across the world saving them. And they heard legends of him like riding a dragon through the city. So that was Richter the Giant Slayer, who by pure luck alone managed to do what was supposed to be impossible. And this fight is not going well because it is. I think they adjust their HP to deal with 2 people.
Oh well, and you know what? There isn't that much HP left.
Yeah,
one or two more rounds if I just keep kiting and blasting and kiting and blasting.
Kiting and blasting. Yeah, I told that entire story, and we still got a decent amount of time for the Sword of the Undead.
Yeah, I don't know if you got anything else.
Probably.
I'm kind of focusing here. I don't think I can. Oh, geez, flanking maneuvers.
Right? It's like the first boss in Demon Souls, where it's the boss itself is not at all dangerous. But
and also I'm pretty low on magic.
Yeah, I noticed your potions are kind of.
Good thing I opened up that regenerate or upgraded.
Yep. I mean, you still got that extra point to level up with if you really are desperate for that extra 25% regen.
Yeah, you know what? That is going to be important in this fight. I'm going to do it right now.
Leveling up mid-fight. It's like cheating in D&D. It's like, I have this skill point I haven't yet distributed. Let me just pencil it in now that I need it. It's technically literally cheating kind of line. Actually, the
Oh, there we go, Lister. I didn't pick it up. Why didn't I pick up the potion?
Because you don't mash square enough. Just like I didn't mash healing potions enough. But it's very easy to just get completely killed in this game.
I can't pick it up. I'm carrying too much. All right, time to dump.
Dump the padded armor. That's 12 pounds you don't need.
Take a dump.
The 12 pounds should be enough.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. So Skillmancers in D&D are always fun to play because this is going to take a while because you still have to do like 3 more waves of this.
I'm going to do it.
Okay. Your
Maybe
HP is full,
2 more.
and you do regen HP, so like don't be afraid to take some hit.
Okay.
Especially when it's just that one lone skeleton like that. Got to get that crit.
Hmm.
So the one thing I did.
Nice.
I did like I think in one of the campaigns one of our friends played a Pathfinder Chronicler, which jeez. Jumping is good because you don't get hit stunned when you're jumping.
Okay.
Because getting hit stunned is how you get stomped. So when you're trying to flee, like jump potions away. So he's playing a Pathfinder Chronicler, which is a prestige class. It's very difficult to get into. You have to like a lot of them stop chasing you.
They didn't see me.
You have to not only do you have to be a semi-accomplished wizard, you also have to like have published a book that someone has bought for a significant amount of money. And so we were starting a campaign where the level was high enough that he could have started as a Pathfinder Chronicler. So we talked about like the book that he created and like how he created it, and he started the campaign as a Pathfinder Chronicler. And so the book that he wrote was basically like massive corruption in the guards of this country.
Oh, I do like 0 damage to this one.
I know.
Oh boy.
Should we just restart?
Can I leave?
No, we'd have to just load the game. I did save outside here, but I think like total time it'd be fast if we just restarted.
No. Okay. Sure.
Okay. We're loading the game. Up. Yeah, this is not a good fight for the sorcerer because the orb's immune to magic.
Yeah.
So like when you're soloing this as a sorcerer, it's actually one of the hardest fights in the game. I should have saved at the closer save point. And so the Pathfinder Chroniclers has 2 things. One, they're a wizard that learns a lot of skills every level. So it's like if you have a question that requires a skill check, like the Pathfinder Chronicler probably has you covered. I think he had invested in basically every skill there is to learn, and had specialized in still a couple after that. But the Pathfinder Chronicler's best ability is the idea that they are allowed to have X amount of gold of just undeclared items. And what that means is that, like, okay, back away. What that means is that, like, they go to town and they buy, like, I buy 100 gold of stuff. And normally when you play D&D, you have to say what that stuff is. For the Pathfinder Chronicler, it's like, nope, I have 100 gold of stuff. And then, like, later on, you get to decide, like, oh, that...
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't really... Like, I'm not sure why I'm dying so much. I'm really not.
Here we are. Load game.
Next time on Last Play, we try this again. And I'll continue with the Pathfinder Chronicles. No, well, this episode will go until the boss is dead.
Okay.
We started this episode with the boss. We have to end with the boss being done.
Okay.
And so the Pathfinder Chronicler basically has a pack that's like, you don't have to worry about the weight of it. You don't have to worry what it actually is. So, like, you get to decide as necessary what that item actually is. And that's hugely important because, like, being prepared in Dungeons and Dragons is very difficult because there's so many items that you could possibly need that knowing ahead of time what items you do need is actually a very difficult feat to accomplish. So, like, the situation was like, oh, we need a crowbar. And he's like, oh, look at that. In my pack, I have a crowbar. Oh, look at that. We need a great sword. Oh, look at that. I have a great sword. And just because you get to decide after, like, retroactively what you bought while you were in town.
Yeah. There was a point where we, I think there's a dangerous spot, was it?
What you were doing is you were looking for a ranger who was, like, somewhere in the wilderness, but you didn't know exactly where. And so you were tracking him, but he was also, like, looking for, like, vagabonds and thieves, so you're worried that he might, like, in the night try to attack you thinking you're the person he was looking for. And so the Pathfinder Chronicler started pulling out, like, large planks of wood and ink. Okay. Trying again. Started pulling out, like, large planks of wood and, like, hinges and hammers and nails to develop this, like, large sign that was like, and wrote out, like, we are adventurers, we're looking for you specifically, please come talk to us, don't kill us in our sleep. And just stuck that sign next to where they were sleeping just in case the ranger tried to assassinate them in the night. He didn't, but since you get to declare it by the gold value, like, planks of wood and, like, nails and stuff do not cost a whole bunch.
Nope.
So the penalty is that, like, once they're declared, they actually exist, and you have to worry about, like, their weight and stuff. But, you know, it was a bunch of planks of wood and ink. He just kind of left it there. No big deal. And so it's the kind of thing that, like, you get to break the rules a little bit in a ridiculous way. And it's balanced because the Pathfinder Chronicler as a class is basically worthless, other than their ability to have undeclared items. Okay, can't get surrounded. You just take one slash and jump away. That's how you win at the game. And yeah, because prestige classes in Pathfinder and in 3.5 are kind of notorious for being either extremely difficult to build, like they don't become useful until you're, like, level 10 or 15, or even later than that some of the time. And so, like, building into prestige classes can be like, it's hard to justify building into them when it makes your character so weak and so situational. The Pathfinder Chronicler being, like, not even an exception to the rule because they are extremely useful other than the ability to have items. Like, in combat, they're weaker than wizards.
Whoa, is that a stab against wizards?
In 3.5/Pathfinder, yeah, like, wizards are the kind... Or they're not, like, useless, but, like, they're... The main issue with wizards is if once you cast that big spell, that's it. You get, like, one or two of those, and then you get to do nothing for the rest of the fight. And if it's, like, a minor fight, you don't even want to cast spells because, like, oh, I'll need that in case something big comes up, like, immediately after this. And that's kind of that's one of the things that 5th edition does so much better than Pathfinder is give cantrips, the spells that you can cast infinitely without having to the spells that you can cast infinitely, they allow you to, they made them strong so that cantrips actually do stuff. Because in Pathfinder, your cantrips are so bad that you might as well not even cast them. Like, casting them instead of just, like, you know, fighting defensively or just, like, just delaying so that you can cast a spell in case you have to cast a more important spell is a better option than casting this cantrip that does 1d3 damage, which is barely a lot of damage at level 1. And you're talking about level 5, 1d3 damage is like a gust of wind level of damage. Oh, we ran to opposite ways. That's very dangerous. So that's like, we can have an entire episode about me explaining. Actually, this boss fight is going to take a while. Why 5th edition is such a good system compared to Pathfinder. Step 1, it's so much easier to learn. Like, Pathfinder, especially because like Pathfinder is so old that like there's so many books of feats and class abilities and stuff, like learning Pathfinder is tough. So for new players, it's very difficult. Also, the amount of math involved is a little bit frustrating when it's like, okay, I'm trying to make an attack. Add the +6 to my attack roll, +2 for flanking, +4 for this teamwork feat that we have, +1 for this like inspire courage. Oh, we're blessed right now. It's another +1 against their AC. Oh, well, it's +2 right now because this. Oh, I'm out of arrows. It's an issue.
Yeah, I'm also running low on potions.
Okay. Well, it's boy, they do so much damage to skeleton warriors. Oh, don't get surrounded. So,
Are you naming at them?
yeah, still throwing names. Rashinja, nice, disrupted. So yeah, like the amount of like numbers that get into play in Pathfinder can actually be kind of frustrating, especially like the higher level you get, the worse it gets. Like where the campaign right now, it's like, okay, roll your d20 +9 for this plus. And like you have like you don't have to worry about like your weapon bonus because that's kind of inflexible. So it's like, yeah, this +11. Oh, but I'm within 30 feet right now, so +1. Oh, I also use this temporary ability that gives me a +1 to my attack roll. Oh, I'm shooting into melee, so that's -4. Oh, there's soft covers, that's another -4. Oh wait, hold on, there's a temporary bonus, and someone's aiding another. Like, there's just so many variables to worry about that it's not practical. It becomes a mess. 5th edition really solves that by you either have advantage or you have disadvantage or you have neither. And all that means is like if you're in a situation where it's more likely for you to hit, you roll 2 d20s and you pick the better the result. If you're in a situation where it's harder for you to hit, you roll 2 d20s and pick the worst of the results. And if you have both, they balance out and you only roll 1 d20. There's no stacking of it, there's a lot less math, and it just...
Go for it.
Yep, we got it. Now stay alive. And watch the XP fly. Nice. We did it!
We did it.
We did it!
Hooray.
It only took like 20 minutes. Next time on Last Play, we deal with this.
Oh, he just walked over here, eh?
Yep. I mean, we cleared the way for him.
That guy's dead. He's real dead.